Starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening and welcome to the Diamonds in the Rough webinar series. We're going to get started in just a minute. We want to give people time to enter so that they can get the whole experience of the webinar. So just bear with us for a little bit. Just as a reminder, this webinar is recorded and you will be able to review it at a later date. Okay, once again, welcome to the Diamonds in the Rough webinar series. Our series is brought to you by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation and the Kappa Foundation. This evening, we will be reviewing Kansas State University. Kansas State University is the large research institution located in Manhattan, Kansas. It is a leading academic institution that offers over 250 majors and programs of study, many of which are nationally recognized. As a member of the Big 12 Conference, it also offers diverse and exciting student life experiences, including 475 student clubs and organizations, Division I athletics, and major concerts and performances annually. Above all, it's a university dedicated to student success in giving out $36 million in scholarships and over $200 million in financial aid, as well as placing 95% of its graduates into jobs or graduate school each year. So we want to welcome Kansas State University, and we will now turn it over to them. We will have first Dr. Brian Samuel, who is the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. He is also a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and then we will go into the presentation.
Good evening. As stated earlier, I'm Dr. Brian Samuel, Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, initiated at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga Lambda Iota chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, and affiliated with the Chattanooga Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, both in the South Central Province. On behalf of General Richard B. Myers, President of Kansas State University, the President's Cabinet, and all the students, faculty, staff, and community members of Kansas State University, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to this virtual tour facilitated by the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Beta Psi Chapter.
Hey, good evening. My name is Brian Williams. I'm with Kent State University's New Student Services. We have a brief video we want to show you that helps to exemplify what the university has to offer.
Once you step foot on this campus or in this community, no matter where you come from, the color of your skin, or your religious background, together we make a...
We often talk about the K-State family, and believe me when I say it is truly special.
Follow a passion, even if that passion is not the norm. You got to figure out what feels right for you.
We've not even scratched the surface as to what we can become as human beings. Never give up, and you can succeed. If you have willpower and determination, I'm telling you right now, you can't be stopped. One thing about K-State and our family is we don't rest on our laurels, and we don't shy away from challenges and hard work.
The university is a community of many people. It is all of us together who must carry this university forward.
Do not forget who you are. Do not forget your history, where you come from. Do not forget you have sacrificed to be where you are right now. That's all I want to say. Sometimes we make positions that are needed. Kansas State level. Kansas State people are unique. The university is unique. And I know the people of Kansas State are truly special.
It's a tough question for every young people, and I'm a son of the city of my hope is always renewed. You who sit today under the sound of my voice may well have the answer.
You know, I get chills every time I watch it. I've probably seen that video about 100 times at this point, but it still gives me chills for multiple reasons. One, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's words were recorded right here when he spoke to our students in 1968. In fact, this was the last university, the last college that Dr. King spoke at before his unfortunate assassination. And that's part of the history of the university. We are a land-grant institution that is committed to working class people, giving them the best value and the best education possible, and then setting them up for success. But not only do we set them up for success, but we set them up to be change agents throughout the country. So I have a brief presentation just to share a couple of tidbits about the university. I really want to leave as much time as possible for our student panelists. So at the end of the presentation, there's going to be some ways to contact me, as well as ways for you to look up some information about the university. I'm going to go through real quick what the university is all about. What can we offer you as students as you join us, either as freshmen or transfers students in the near future? The first thing I want to point out is the value of the university. That's one of the things that really highlights and shines in that video. We have 9 academic colleges or schools, points of emphasis, if you will, of education throughout the university. And within those schools, within those colleges, there's over 250 majors and programs to choose from. A lot of them are nationally ranked and nationally recognized for the work that they're doing. Some of our more popular majors, of course, include engineering, business, and pre-health. But we also have a state-of-the-art College of Agriculture, where you'll find majors you won't find anywhere else in the world, such as bakery science and milling science. We have a tremendous College of Education where we graduate and place more teachers than anywhere else in the state of Kansas. Our College of Human Ecology is also existed here at K-State, where you can learn everything from hospitality management to kinesiology. The health and human sciences that happen within that college, once again, are bar none. Architecture, every degree you have in that architecture program is a top 20 program in the country. 5-year master's program that you can achieve there. And then I would be remiss if I did not mention also our College of Technology and Aviation. If you ever wanted to be a pilot and learn how to fly planes or work on planes through aviation maintenance or anything to do with avionics, our College of Technology and Aviation located, our Polytechnic College located in Salina, Kansas, is the place for you. Once again, these are nationally recognized. They work with students a lot. So what that number one in competitive scholarships means is that we are graduating more Truman Scholars, more Rhodes Scholars, Fulbright Scholars than any other public institution in the country. In fact, we are ranked right up there with our Ivy League partners in terms of giving students opportunities to work with professors, come up with an idea, see that idea through research, present that idea, even get published, and receive scholarship funds to go to graduate school through the Truman Scholarship, the Rhodes Scholarship. Both of those scholarships send you actually to graduate school internationally. Far and foremost, I want to mention is when students are looking at colleges, they want to make sure that they can get a job afterwards. We just got our new numbers in, and you saw earlier that it said 95% placement into jobs at graduate school. I'm happy to say that that's going up a percentage point. 96% for our class of 2018. I've never seen that number. I've been working for the university since 2010 in the midst of the recession, the Great Recession, and that number has never dropped below 90% of our graduates either being placed in graduate school or into jobs. Second thing is student life. I love this picture, something that we started on campus. It's something that's similar to Kappa League on a university level. We call it the EMOTEP initiative. And it's for Black males to receive mentoring and guidance, as well as development and support across campus. So you see this is one of our many photos from one of our celebrations. There's over 475 groups and organizations for students to join. Over 40 of those groups are multicultural student organizations just like this one. So if you're looking for something that speaks to your cultural identity, the university has done a great job of providing resources for organizations just like EMOTEP or our Greek organizations like Kappa Alpha Psi. So when you come here, you can find a place for you where you see yourself and you can be a change agent for the university. But we also have your intramural sports, over 40 intramurals if you want to play sports, if you want to be a part of student government, whereas a multi-million-dollar budget, you'll be over for student government. There's a lot of things you can do outside the classroom to not only give yourself a sense of worth and value, but also give you the skills to be able to be successful outside of the university. We're a Big 12 school, Big 12 athletics. We just won the Big 12 championship in basketball this past year. We're a multi-time Big 12 championship in men's basketball. We've had multiple titles also in men's football. Sports are huge here at the university. So if you want to have that student fan experience, there's nothing bigger than going to the Octagon of Doom and Bramlage Coliseum to see a basketball game or men or women play, or to go to Bramlage Coliseum Bill Snyder Family Stadium to cheer on our Wildcats there. Finally, I want to highlight that we also have a lot of major events, performances that happen at the university. We are only located a little bit under 2 hours from Kansas City, a major metropolis area, as well as about 2 hours from Wichita. So what that means is that there's a lot of different performances and acts that can get to this area pretty quickly and give performances for students. For example, we had Kevin Hart while I was here recently. We're going to have a major concert here this month coming from a major rap artist that we're really excited about for that. But on top of these major events, cultural phenoms. Angela Davis has come and spoke to our students. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was recently here as well. Nikki Giovanni. These are names that you can see for free and learn about what it means to be a social activist and to be somebody who's trying to create transformative change. There was a book that was very popular, so popular that they made a movie out of it, The Hate You Give. We just had that lecture from the author, Angie Thomas, just a few weeks ago for our students to understand what it means to traverse and work in these issues of social activism and being informed about what's going on in our communities. Final thing I want to highlight for you, our diversity initiatives at the university. We're really excited to be the #1 choice of multicultural students in the state of Kansas. Of the organizations that we have that are award-winning, our Black Student Union, which I have helped to advise for a number of years, is the #1 BSU in the Big 12 Conference. Black student organization for the academics and also the leadership and cultivation in that group. We have won that award 11 times in the past 14 years. So very consistent leadership is developed amongst our Black community here at the university. Also, our diversity office has also won awards for the university as well, Higher Education Excellence and Diversity Awards, which talks about the promotion and the development not only of our students, but the faculty that are on campus as well. What you see on the screen is our Multicultural Student Center, a $15 million project that we're getting ready to break ground on very soon, and hopefully have it up for you when you do join us either 2020, 2021, whenever you decide to join us and be a Wildcat with us. Real quick, once again, you're going to have my contact information if you want to get into the minutia of the academic process to join the university. But if you want to become a Wildcat, it's pretty simple. If you're in Kansas, 2.0 GPA. If you're outside of Kansas, 2.5. You have to have the GPA. That's a CB average, really easy to get. 21 ACT or 1060 ACT is also a requirement that you have. If you do not have that test score, but if you're ranked in the top third of your graduating class, there is still a possibility for you to be admitted, a strong possibility for you to be admitted. We are a school that's committed to access. Our output is incredible in terms of what we do consistently give the feedback from our career fair and our career partners about how trained and ready for the world of work our graduates are. We don't feel like we have to inflate our admission standards to produce 96% of placement at the university. But I will be honest with you, even though a 2.5 will get you into the university, our scholarship started at 3.0. You have to at least have a B average to receive a scholarship from the university. So if you're a 9th or 10th grader, or any grade really, as you're thinking about colleges, not only K-State, but across this country, as we're trying to make things more affordable for students, you have to do your part. You have to be in your books, making sure that you're doing the things you need to do to receive the scholarships that you need to pay for college. You see right here the in-state scholarships, everything from the Landmark Awards to the University Scholar Award. You will be able to find your place on here based off your ACT and your GPA and know what scholarship that you will receive. The same thing for our out-of-state students. We have a grid on our website as well. But once again, the renewable dollars, you have to have a decent ACT, at least a 20 ACT if you're out of state. A 24 ACT will get you 24 ACT, 3.5 GPA. That can get you $12,000 a year. So just doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom and studying for that test can make the world of difference if you were to choose K-State. And I think you'll find that to be similar amongst all four-year institutions that you're currently looking at. Once again, for more information, you can find that at our website, k-state.edu/admissions. All of the information for our scholarships, our admissions policy, our housing policies, what it looks like to set up a visit. We would love to host you sometime in the near future. We will roll out the purple carpet for you and show you everything that there is to see on our beautiful campus. Once again, you can contact me if you have questions. I understand this will be saved, so you'll be able to get this information at a later date as well. My phone number is 532-1521, or you can reach me at kstate12@k-state.edu. Once again, my name is Brian Williams. I am the Director of College Access and Community Outreach here at Kansas State University. Thank you to the men of Kappa Alpha Psi for allowing the university to host this. I'm going to turn it over to the main feature, the main attraction, and that's some of the best student leaders that we have on this campus. So without further ado, switch the screen out.
Hey everyone, as you already know, we are the Beta Psi chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi. My name is Aaron Moore. I'm the current pole mark of the chapter. I'm a spring 2016 initiate.
My name is Chris Holby. I'm the current guy right chair of the chapter. I'm expected to graduate actually in May of this year.
My name is Larry McFadden. I'm the current exchequer of the chapter, and I was spring 18 initiate. My name is Jared Sterling. I'm the current vice pole mark of the chapter, and I'm a spring 18 initiate as well. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and open it up for the Q&A.
So everybody, just so you know that this is the time that we want you to be able to ask some questions to our panelists, being the fact that we want you to be able to speak about a student experience. I think this question is for the university administrators more. Where do some graduates work after leaving the university? Also, do you offer any job placement assistance or an annual career event?
I'm gonna sneak back in here. Yes, we offer a university-wide career fair, which is actually one of the largest career fairs in the country, and also one of the largest in the Big 12. Our students stay locally first, so Cerner is a huge placer for our graduates, as well as Hallmark and Cargill and Coke. So these are engineering and agricultural firms that you can find throughout Kansas. We also place students really across the country. Hormel is a big company that hires a lot of our business and ag students to work everywhere from New York, Pennsylvania to Minnesota to California. Phillips 66, ConocoPhillips, Spirit Aerosystems. There's a lot of different major, especially in STEM and business, that hire our students. Our students also place in every pre-health program or health program in the country as well. We have students who are going to med school locally here at the University of Kansas, just right down the road from us. We place students in Johns Hopkins. So if you're looking to go to law school or to medical school, we place those students as well. We do offer assistants, advisors. There's career advisors that work with all of our students to help them find internships, externships, and the like.
Okay. Gentlemen, could you please let us know your majors?
Okay, yeah, I'll start. I'm a civil engineering major. I have a minor in business.
Psychology, minor in journalism, mass communications.
Mechanical engineering, minor in computer science. Finance.
Okay. So this question is, how is the housing on campus?
Let's see. Both of y'all still live in the dorms. So I'll tell you that. I've been living in the dorms. This will be my third year now, in 3 different dorms. I think it's a great community. It's a really easy way to meet a lot of different types of people very quickly. You're living in dorms that range anywhere from 5 to 9 floors, and there's 100, 200 some people on each floor. So you meet girls and guys pretty fast. And just kind of build your friend group, get to know some people in the derb, of course, that's what we call, or the dining halls, I'm sorry. The dining halls here, they got the banging food and everything like that. So I think it's a good time, and I think it just makes you more comfortable more quickly here. And plus for me, I like it because it's close to all my classes. I'm on campus. I feel like I can get anywhere just as quickly. And it's been a great experience for me thus far, so.
Yeah, one thing I'll also say is I think it's also a great way to stay active on campus. Since you're on campus and you're in your dormitorium, they post a lot of the events and things. So it's real easy for you as an incoming freshman or me as a transfer student to get involved quickly on campus, to get familiar with the type of events that you like and kind of find your own flow as you get adjusted to college.
If I could add, we do have some wonderful facilities, both residence halls as well as dining facilities or what have you. I think it's also important to let some of the prospective students know that Kansas State University is not like many other institutions that will have a requirement for living on campus. So you actually have an option for either living on campus or living off campus, even as a freshman. And that will be something that's very different for most institutions that you'll look at.
Yeah, I lived on campus for 3 years. I just moved off campus last year. I think like my favorite thing about living in the dorms though was the fact that the dining center and the dorms are connected. At least 2 of the buildings are, so you don't have to go outside or anything. You just walk through a little connecting bridge and you're to the food. You don't have to like put on extra clothes when it's cold or anything like that. So
Okay. So let's see. Well, there's a lot of questions, guys. So how do you go about setting up a college tour in the fall. There's also the possibility to see a football game.
I was going to sit back here just in case I need to answer anything else. But yeah, so if you call our office, 785-532-1521, you can set up a campus visit any day, Monday through Friday. We actually are going to we haven't announced the game yet because the schedule hasn't come out yet, but we also have something called Family Day that we have, which is a visit experience on a Friday. Where you get to meet with your major that you're interested in, a campus tour, you get to meet with admissions folks, financial aid if you want, build your day, and then you get discounted tickets. They go usually for like $10 or $15 the most to a football game on the next day, on that Saturday. So it's a combo type of experience. So the tickets are heavily discounted for our campus visitors during Family Day. The tickets are normally, $30, $35, but we get a discount for those students who are interested. That information will be on the website probably sometime in August. But in the meantime, feel free to give us a call and we'll set that up for you.
Okay. Is the housing co-ed?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we have all of them are co-ed except for two of them, which are all women dorms, female dorms. So Ford Hall and Boyd Hall are the only resident halls that aren't co-ed.
Okay.
And that's out of the 10 resident halls that we have here on campus.
Okay. So what could you tell a high school student your biggest adjustment going from high school to college and as well being away from home? Could you guys tell us where you're from?
I'm from Kansas City, Kansas. I'm from Kansas City, Kansas as well. Omaha, Nebraska. Houston, Texas.
So what's the biggest adjustment between college and high school and being away from home?
Okay. Well, biggest adjustment was kind of, being in charge of my own life. And I say that mean like there's no one to wake me up when, it's time to go to class. And if I miss the time to eat, then I'm just out of luck eating. And there's nobody like yelling at me to do your homework or anything like that. I'm my own person. I'm in charge of myself. So that was kind of the biggest adjustment. Really making sure that I'm on task and I'm doing everything that I need to do. And then also managing my money. Like my freshman year, I was balling out. It was yeah, money went quickly and money wasn't getting sent fast enough. So, being responsible, that was the biggest adjustment.
Yeah, being responsible is definitely an adjustment. And I'm gonna go ahead and he said he had a hard time managing money. I'm gonna go ahead and say managing time was probably a challenge that I had to overcome at first, because you have class, you have stuff that you have to go to class, and then you have homework in those classes. But then there's also a lot of things to do on this campus, as far as like going to the recreational center. There's different activities that you can do that is not related to the classroom at all, and just putting yourself on a schedule. Honestly, just being responsible, like Aaron said, because you don't have your parents there, whoever is watching over you to wake you up or say you have to be here at this time, remember doing this. So yeah, so that was me.
So y'all touched on it really for me. I would say just real quick, for someone who was a little further away from home, for anybody who might be interested in K-State who's might be out of state or a good amount of time from the school, I'd say one of the biggest things was definitely that kind of transition of being far from home is a lot different. They did touch on everything in the sense of it does kind of come very quickly when it comes to managing your time and your money and just being responsible overall, waking yourself up and stuff like that. And I found this is a random thing that I still find important, but just making time to contact your family a lot of the time too. College can get extremely busy. And it even gets to the point sometimes where you feel like you don't even have time to have a quick conversation with somebody or just touch in with anyone. And I think that's just something that is overlooked, but is extremely valuable. Let's just make sure you're remembering to, call back home, call to your friends, call to your family, and just keep relationships, build relationships. And I found that to be extremely valuable in my time here. So.
Okay. What other student organizations do you belong to, especially for the engineering students, like NSBE or a group called MANRRS?
Manners.
Yep.
Yeah. So aside from Kappa Alpha Psi, I am a part of the NSBE National Society of Black Engineers chapter K-State. I'm currently the programs chair for that organization. I'm also the drummer for United Black Voices Gospel Choir here on campus. And then I'm also in Engineers Without Borders. It's probably something a lot of people haven't heard of. It's a organization where engineers, marketing majors, business majors all come together to put together community service projects. So right now we're working on designing a school for children in Guatemala. So I think that's all the clubs I'm involved in.
I'm also part of NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. I'm currently running for a position on there right now. I'm just a general body member as well. I'm a part of the student advisory board for the mechanical engineering department. So I help communicate through the other mechanical engineers directly to the teachers and to the board people to help fix issues that we see with our major. And also I'm part of BSU, which is Black Student Union.
I am, as well as Kappa Alpha Psi, I'm a member of the Student Alumni Board, which is basically a organization that kind of is involved in things with recruitment, as well as alumni events on campus, just to keep the connection between Kansas State and their alumni on the world, as well as the Black Student Union.
Do you guys find it challenging to, you talked about time management, do you find it challenging to be part of all these activities and be able to keep up your grades?
Yeah, it's extremely challenging, especially my freshman, sophomore year. I talked about it earlier. I really struggled in time management, keeping track of myself, to the point where I had to go to student services and have them help me out. And they sat me down and we kind of plotted out a schedule of my day each day throughout the week and throughout the whole semester. And I used to keep a planner. I now keep it on my phone. And every day I have my time blocked out, hour by hour, what I need to do, what I need to work on, where I need to go. And then also my free time, because free time is important. You don't want to stress yourself out. You don't want to overload yourself. So just being able to track how much time I'm spending where and everything that I need to get done was extremely important. And that's what I've worked on.
Do any of you guys play athletics?
I like to think of myself as an athlete, but I don't play for K-State. Not a Division I athlete, but we have intramural sports here that go year round for a variety of sports from soccer, volleyball, basketball, flag football, and things like that, where if you don't play even for the college, for K-State, you can still get involved in whatever sport that you love here. I believe it's like they have intramural sports from like 60 different sports to choose from, frisbee, all types of different things. So you can get involved if you really have a passion for a certain sport. You can get involved here for sure. Yeah. If there's any musicians listening, I played a year in the marching band here. Yeah, band is a sport. Y'all don't care, but if there's any musicians listening, they know band is a sport.
So
What
yeah,
instrument do you play?
snare drum.
Okay. So
No, I think Leonard, weren't you gonna respond, Leonard?
I was just gonna say before I'm a transfer student, like I said, and before I transferred here, I was an athlete I played basketball at a D2 school, and I was just gonna say that being an athlete, if anyone listening is interested in being an athlete, time management's even more important because playing a D1 sport's even more intense. Your time is even more valuable because you have to fit in time for practices and, of course, school. Nothing becomes above school. You're a student first, and then also getting time for your social events. And so time management becomes even more important with that on your plate. So.
okay. What role does Kappa Alpha Psi play at Kansas State?
Within the university, we've always tried to give students an ability to participate in social events as well as opportunities to enrich themselves. In 2 weeks, we'll be throwing a Shimmy Like a Kappa event. We're also throwing a skating party. But at the same time, we've partnered with organizations on campus, such as PowerCat Financial, to help students get their finances right, and also a stress relieving event at the recreation center. So we always try to create a balance on the campus within social side and also personal development.
Okay. What's your normal class size?
So it depends. When you first get to college and you're taking general courses, you can have a classroom with a couple hundred students in it. As you go further in your major, so in my mechanical engineering classes, I can have anywhere between 20 to 50 kids in those classes. So it's a pretty wide range. I will say when you first get here, you have to get used to big lecture halls. They take attendance on clickers. The teacher probably won't know your name, but as you keep going in your major, they get smaller and smaller.
Actually, I will say as a Black student in the big lecture halls, the teachers will know your name because they have like an attendance sheet with everybody's face. And if you're the Black student in the room, like they're gonna see the Black face before they see anybody else. So they always knew my name because I was the Black dude with dreads.
So in your dorm, you talked about dorm rooms. About how many students are in the dorm room?
Well, they have in the dorm total,
like in
or
your
just
rooms. Like how many roommates do you have?
Oh, they can range anywhere from they have 3-person suites in some dorms. They have 4-person with 2 and 2 on each side and a bathroom in the middle that you all share. They just have regular 2-person rooms.
I got some that only one person lives in.
Yeah, they got solo rooms. They got anywhere from basically 4 to 1. You can pick whatever you want.
Okay. Does it from the engineering portion? Do you guys have labs for a simulation?
Yeah, so a lot of the core engineering classes, like your physics, your chemistry, classes like those, they're gonna be broken up into lecture days. So you'll typically have those Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you'll have lab days once a week, either Tuesday or Thursday, and there'll be 2 to 3 hours on that day, and it'll be like a typical lab like you do in high school. You run a simulation or do an experiment, and then you'll have to write up some type of lab report or have an assignment due on it that following week.
Okay. As the fact that you have a guide write program, what is your interaction with the kids in the community? How are you assisting their knowledge about college life and potentially becoming a student at Kansas State University?
So lately we've done a lot of work with the Boys and Girls Club in Manhattan. We actually just had an event a month ago with them where we we got a group of kids that were members of the Boys and Girls Club and went over things like ACT and SAT prep and managing the schedule, things like that. And then we're also partnered. Our chapter's also partnered with the OK program, It's short for Our Kids. It's based out of Topeka, Kansas, and it's a joint operation between the Topeka Police Department, our Topeka Alumni Chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi, and our chapter. And within that program, we work with middle school and high school age kids on just how to manage life. You know, we're all minority people in this big world. So being able to mentor them and help guide them is something that we really focus on within that program. And we also have fun. We play basketball, eat pizza, tell jokes. So
as a college student, was there anything that anyone didn't tell you about the differences between high school and college life that was shocking to you, that you gained experience in as you were transitioning through school? I know, a loaded question, right?
So good. I say me coming from my high school, I don't think they stressed the importance of networking enough. I think it's really valuable to get into, even after the first day of class or before that, email your teachers, go up to your teacher, introduce yourself, get to know them, because you never know, they could have a research assignment at the end of the year for that could be helpful. Say if you don't get an internship or anything like that, they can offer you. They might know people working in your industry that are looking for people, and just because they saw you take that initiative to go see them, or they always see that you sit in the front of the class, or you always come up to them, you're definitely be like the first on their list. So it can really open doors for you just by getting out there, networking, meeting people, going to events, shaking hands, showing interest, really. So I'd say that's like one of the most important things that I had to learn.
I would say another one is making time just to take care of yourself as well. Doing things to just stay active, stay healthy, make sure you're eating right, and just continue to grow. You're gonna most likely face a lot of times where you're pretty busy, pretty swamped, like everyone says, and you kind of have to knock certain things off the list and get a lot of stuff done. And so just making sure that in the midst of everything throughout college, just make sure you're taking care of yourself and remaining healthy. So, yeah.
Okay. What type of high schools did you guys go to? Like prep school, regular public school, private schools, things of that nature? I'm just asking the questions, brothers. Just asking the questions.
Yeah, I went to a public school, Washington High School in Kansas City, Kansas, the Wyandotte County area. It was pretty small. I had a graduating class of 160 students. So it was, it's small. Eric called it the hood school. I don't think it's a hood school. I love my school, but yeah, it's just a small public school. But yeah, that's me.
I went to Sumner Academy. It's a public magnet school, so you have to test into it. But it is a part of the USD 500 school district in Kansas City, Kansas.
I went to Creighton Prep. It's a all-boys Catholic private school, Omaha, Nebraska. It's actually ranked the highest among like testing scores. You have to test into it. Yeah.
I went to Episcopal High School. It's a private school in Bel Air, Texas. It was pretty small. My graduating class was about 172. And I was probably like one of 10 black kids. So
yeah, I was one of 8 to graduate with my class.
We had a variety of our schools.
No, that's good. That's very good. What is the most valuable thing that someone told you before you attended college?
Go to class.
Yeah. Students who go to class tend to pass.
Yeah. Bars. Yeah. That was the biggest thing. It was my mom who told me that. Crammed it into my head every day. So, and I'm looking from being now in my third year, I've seen the difference in people who show up to class more regularly than not. And yeah, they're doing better.
Does the university have an absentee policy for class?
It depends on the department. Some departments and the teacher itself, some teachers will just take attendance because they feel as if they don't, then people won't show up. Some teachers leave it up to you. Some departments at K-State are required to take attendance. Like I know the English department has a attendance requirement. So yeah, it just depends on the department and the professor. Some classes you never got to go to. Some classes you have to show up every day. So.
And if I could, I would add that in addition to the department or the faculty members' class attendance policy, we also have something we call global campus, where students are allowed to kind of take class online and things of that nature, to where they'll be meaningfully engaged in the coursework and the dialogue through responses to activities and things of that nature, but may not physically be sitting in a class. That's also an option.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a professor that would take off like 2% every time you missed a class. And then I had a professor that if you miss class 5 times, you automatically failed. But then I had some professors that never took attendance or really didn't care. So I mean, you need to go to class regardless, so it doesn't matter what kind of policy there is.
Okay. Is there a police department on site? And how many university police are on staff?
That's an excellent question. I'll try to answer that. I've only been here about 14 months. I do know that there is a campus police department, certified state officers who exercise the laws and enforce the laws and things of that nature for not only the campus. It is headed by an assistant vice president and chief of police, and my understanding is there are about 45 officers under his command.
Okay. Is there a campus work study program?
Yes. Work study is a federal initiative that many institutions across the country will participate in, where you are given a work study assignment in lieu of perhaps working off campus and doing some of those other kind of things. You get opportunities to not only support yourself financially with work, but also study as time permits. And usually those jobs are in departments that have some degree of a budget that's built around work study.
What is the average size of the Black student population?
My understanding is about 800. Does that sound right to you, Brian?
We include graduate students.
Yeah, it's about 800. Yes.
Okay. For the gentleman, students sort of want to know what type of GPA you had in order to get into the university. So if you don't mind sharing your high school GPAs, if you can remember them,
Yeah, mine was easy. It was 3.14. It was like a 3.4 or something like that.
I had a 3.8 something.
I had a 3.3.
Okay. So that's pretty impressive. So this is a community question to go back to your GuideRight program. How is your relationship with the parents, if you have any relationship with parents while doing your GuideRight service?
We really haven't interacted too much with the parents. A lot of programs that we've gone through and avenues that we've done to do our GuideRight service has been through the program. Even when we have like university tours come, and K-State will have the different multicultural organizations have booths out. Like our first contact is always like with the students. So there hasn't been a whole lot of parent contact, but we're always open for something to happen with the video. Yeah, we're always open for bridging that gap that is important, especially in 2019. So that's something that we're working towards in the upcoming semesters, bridging that gap between the student, parents, and us.
So being the fact that you guys are at a large campus, and what are some of the challenges that you face being such a large school, and a highly visible school, being that you're at a Division I school?
I mean, I feel like it would be much of the challenges you would face at any institution. It's a lot of just you gotta stay ahead of the game. You gotta take care of yourself. You gotta be responsible. It is a big community, and like Leonard said, you do have to network. You have to build relationships. It's a good idea to just kind of put yourself out there. I guess if you're not one that typically likes to get out of their comfort zone, one challenge may be that it would be a good idea to kind of step out of your comfort zone and maybe try things that you are normally not comfortable with. Because you may learn something about yourself. You may learn that you really like doing something that you didn't know before, and you never know what doors that could open. So I guess one of the biggest challenges is just adjusting to being as open as possible and just having an open mind and being open to different opportunities for a place with 20,000+ students.
Anybody else? Okay. I'm just going to put this out there. Are there any other questions that you guys would like to ask our panelists?
Brother Jackson, it's Steve. I think we had one from one of the panels. I actually had one myself, if you don't mind. For the brother from Texas, and the other guys, but especially you from Texas, because you seem to be from out of the state. So I'm in Georgia. We actually have a young man from our capital coming to K-State. But what made you decide to leave Texas, to go outside the state, to go to Kansas State?
So the major things I would say were, one, just kind of on a personal level, it was a family school for me. I had a lot of family who went here and who was going here when I got here. So just knew somebody here. Now, they were the only people I knew, but it was someone. So I felt a little comfortable going somewhere far away, and I wanted to get closer with my family on a kind of financial level and things like that. K-State was very generous with scholarship. If you are active in applying and going and seeking them out for Kansas State, they're generally very generous with out-of-state scholarships to get kids to come through. And I guess that, coupled with the fact that I knew some here, that kind of made me decide to come through. As well as when I came here to check out the campus, people were just very friendly. Very nice. I didn't get any hostile vibe, or just, it felt kind of like a place that I could call home away from home, especially being so far away. So yeah, those were the big factors for me.
Okay. Then there was one other question that kind of piggybacked on someone asked about the size of the minority population. I went to a predominantly white school, so how's the diversity experience been there? Because K-State's way larger than the school I went to. So how has that been, I guess, from a diversity experience?
From a diversity standpoint, touching on Greek life first, aside from Kappa Alpha Psi, we do have 8 out of the 9 Divine 9 MPHC Greek organizations on campus. We also have 2 of the Latin Greek organizations on campus, as well as another minority Greek organization on campus. So from a Greek standpoint, we are very diverse. Aside from that, we're our 2 faculty mentioned the 800 people, 800 or so Black people that we have on campus. We have group chats and group texts with like all the Black people on campus, and it's pretty cool to be able to like network with each other and talk and tell jokes and stuff. And I mean, like I play games sometime on campus where I kind of walk around to see how many Black people I can count. And yeah, I come up with pretty cool numbers sometimes. I mean, we all kind of congregate in a couple areas within campus. Within the student union, we have what we call the MSO, the Multicultural Student Office, and that's where we all kind of like to hang out. I mean, we all go to the dining hall at certain times of the day. So, I mean, out of the grand scheme of 800 out of, a lot of different ethnicities that we have on campus and the large number of students that we have, it's not hard to find someone of your own skin color.
If I could, to the brother that asked the question, I want a couple of things. Jared mentioned the generosity of the scholarships and things of that nature coming from Houston, Texas. The university is also looking at expanding scholarship offers and reducing some of the costs associated with out-of-state attendance for individuals who live in certain states. And my understanding is Texas and Arkansas and Oklahoma and some of these other places are in that list. So if you're listening and you're in some of those geographical regions of the country, then there may be an opportunity for you to experience a reduction in the cost of tuition. And then secondly, that 800 number is African American, okay? It's Black. I think the total percentage of underrepresented minorities is somewhere around 18% of the 22,000 or so, 22,000 students that we actually have on campus. That's not including other populations where you might see first generation or students who are Pell eligible. You also have, Kansas State University is also one of the leading universities or top 50 universities for our LGBTQ population. So there's diversity in every kind of dimension or phase that you might want to think about diversity for American higher education institution. And there is really a lot of opportunity for engaging the campus broadly. Many of the multicultural organizations are in the colleges. We talked about the NASB, National Association for Black Engineers. There was a question about Manners, which is our agriculture group over in College of Agriculture. That's pretty much like a NASB, but around agriculture. We have a NOMAS in the College of Architecture. And no matter where you go, there are organizations in some of the colleges and the academic units and places where you will find diversity and opportunity to meaningfully engage and see yourself credibly.
Thank you. So a couple of last questions. I'm just going to ask them in a group so you can answer them. Is there an ROTC program at KSU? After you guys finish undergrad at KSU, do you plan to go to graduate school at KSU? And then this question is, why is KSU better than the University of Kansas?
I'll answer the ROTC question. We do have an Army ROTC, if I'm remembering correctly. And is it Air Force?
Yeah, Air Force.
I'm sorry, Air Force. I don't know. What am I doing? Of course it's Air Force. Our president is a 4-star general and commander of all the Air Force in the United States. So I don't know how I made that mistake. But yes, we do have Air Force ROTC.
Yeah, my LB, he's already graduated. He's not on with us today, but he was in the ROTC program here.
So do any of you plan to go to grad school at Kansas State?
Yeah, I graduate next year. I'm actually looking at getting my master's in engineering management through the K-State online education program. What's the
Global Campus?
Yeah, I plan on getting my master's through Global Campus. So it won't be here on campus. I'll be able to do that somewhere else, but still in school.
All right, and then why is Kansas State better than the University of Kansas?
Come on, babe. For me, it came down to me going to KU, the other institution, and
wow.
I've been to both. Like I visited both colleges before I made a decision, and I'll say what stood out about K-State was just how much they really wanted me to come here. Like we have Dr. Pat Bosco, which is sadly he's retiring this year. He sat down with my parents, was like, "Look, we really want your son to be a part of this university." He took us out to ice cream, and he was just like, "Yeah, this is what K-State can do for you." You know, if he needs extra attention when it comes to his academics, we have this program, that program, that program. Like, you know, it just really felt like they really wanted me here, as opposed to the other institution. Even though I'm not gonna mind say that they didn't like it, put on a good presentation, but it wasn't as personal for me. And I just like the overall vibe that K-State was able to give me. And that just led me to make the decision to come here. And I do not regret it at all.
For me, it was just the community that they created for me. Me being an engineering student, whatever you decide to do here, there's like a close community for it. So me being an engineering student, immediately, you know, the first worries that you have are like, is the course load going to be too difficult? Like, how hard is this? They immediately like group you in and say, all right, this is what you're going to do. These are the classes you're going to have to take. They show you the SAS tutoring, which is a great tutoring center. They show you they give you all the tools you need to succeed. And that right there was just kind of the selling point for me, just knowing that I had multiple outlets to go to in case I needed help, and that they showed those to me. And you don't really have to go out and find them yourself. They make them very well known and very, very accessible to you.
So we have actually come to an hour. I'm going to let on our National Guy Right Director, Kevin Burnett. Brother Burnett, you're on the line.
Again, I'd like to thank Kansas State University and Beta Psi chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi for putting on this webinar, and we appreciate this is the first that we've done with university, and we look to do a lot more. Part of what we're looking to do is expose our young men to a broad range of experiences. And, I have to say we've had a number of Kappa Leaguers that have come from different areas to Kansas State, and they've all had good experiences. And for true confessions, I'm the one who asked that KU question. So, for my brothers out there for University of Kansas, I'll just have to say that I'll answer it's because we're better people. But again, full honesty, I'm a K-State grad from 1979 and a Beta Psi initiate. Both my sons attended Kansas State University. And again, if you're looking for a large, campus experience, but still have a small campus, close, tight-knit feel, Kansas State is a great place, and they have great programs. And again, I'm an advocate. So again, I appreciate everyone attending, and again, I appreciate folks who put this on. And again, I'd like to thank you. And Brother Jackson, I'll turn that back over to you.
Thank you once again, Brother Burnett. We also want to thank you again, Kansas State and the brothers of Beta Psi. We appreciate all the things that you've given. Once again, this has been recorded so that it will be left so that you guys can come back and review and see some of the answers to the questions and also get some of the top level details. We want to thank you again for joining our webinar series at the Diamonds in the Rough webinar. Also, these are once again brought to you by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation and the Kappa Foundation. We'll have some upcoming webinars, and we will let you know when they are. Please be on the lookout, and we thank you again for joining. Everyone, have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.